Today I am going to take you along on our most recent beach vacation. This is something that we do pretty much every year, and I've learned a lot of tips and tricks to keep the expenses down, so that is what I'm going to be sharing.
We are on vacation in Florida. This is something we do every year. We take a beach vacation with our kids. We've done it since our oldest kids were really little, and now traveling with 5 kids is a little bit challenging, but it's honestly not that bad. And I know what you're thinking, like it's got to be so expensive to travel, especially if you fly with a bunch of kids, but that is what I am here to talk to you about today. I'm here to tell you how to fly with kids for super cheap. I'm going to show you my tricks. We are actually traveling with my in-laws, so there are 9 of us total on this trip, and I booked all of our flights, direct flights from St. Louis, Missouri to Orlando and back, round trip for $500. $500. That's it.
We will get to how to find and book cheap flights, because that is going to be a huge money saver when you are flying with a lot of people. Obviously, I'm aware that people can drive. If they want to drive to where they're going on vacation and save money that way. But that can be really hard when you have a lot of little ones, especially babies that don't, understand why you're in the car for 10, 15 plus hours. So when we travel, we do not bring carry-ons. We do not bring checked bags. Everything that we pack has to fit in one backpack. That's another way that we save money, because a backpack counts as a personal item, which is free to bring on the plane. You don't have to pay for it. When you bring a carry-on or a checked bag, you usually have to pay for those. Sometimes they're included, but then the price of your flight is going to be a lot higher, so you're paying for your bags one way or another if you bring carry-ons or checked bags. We are packed and ready to go. This is all we're bringing right here. So when we travel, which is just once or twice a year, when we fly, I should say, everyone in our family gets one backpack. That is all I allow. We do not check bags, and we don't pay for carry-ons, because a backpack counts as a personal item, and that is something you don't have to pay extra for. Plus, I just feel like a lot of people way overpack when they travel. We are easily able to fit all of our things in a backpack. When you are flying with little ones, you can usually bring a stroller or a wagon right up to the gate, and they'll just load it onto the plane for you. But my husband said he did not want us to bring a stroller or wagon this time, so I'm just bringing 2 carriers. These Ergo Baby soft structured carriers are great for babies and toddlers. So I figure I will wear one of the little guys and my daughter will wear another one. So my toddler just turned 3. He's more than capable of walking, but toddlers can be a little funny. You just never know what you're gonna get. You never know if they're gonna be tired or crabby. And I just don't want to risk having to drag him or carry him through the airport. So just in case he wants to be held, then I have an extra carrier. Traveling is supposed to be fun and relaxing, and for the most part it is. But what's not fun and not relaxing is being constantly bloated and constipated when you're traveling, because you're out of your normal routine. And one tip that I have to avoid that is to bring your probiotic with you anytime that you go somewhere. I have been taking Seeds DSO1 Daily Synbiotic for 9-ish months now. I started taking it shortly after I had my 5th baby, and one thing that I love about it is that the welcome kit comes with a little travel vial. You can bring your probiotics with you wherever you go, and they do not need to be refrigerated. A lot of probiotics on the market right now are just haphazard collections of bacterial strains where you don't even really know what you're getting, but that's just not the case with Seed. Seed is a combination of 24 prebiotic and probiotic bacterial strains that have been clinically proven to reach your colon alive. So let me explain what I mean by that. Most probiotics are destroyed in the digestion process by stomach acid, digestive enzymes, bile salts, so they don't actually make it through your digestive system and reach your colon intact in order to be effective. And like I said, that's just not the case with Seed. So they actually have
a capsule within a capsule system. It's called ViaCap. So you can see here, this is the outer capsule, and inside of this capsule is prebiotic fiber. That is the food for the probiotic. And that's one thing you want to look for to know if you're getting a quality probiotic. Is there prebiotic fiber included? If there's not, then right away you know that something's off. So inside of this capsule here, you can see the prebiotic fiber. And then if I dump that out, you can see the probiotic capsule. We are heading into springtime, which is when a lot of people start to think about their health, think about getting in shape, and good gut health needs to be the foundation of anything you do to build better health. Right now, when you order Seeds DS-01 Daily Symbiotic using my code HOPEWELL25, you'll get 25% off your first order. I will put more details and my link in the description below the video, so just tap the more button and check it out.
Something else that we always do is bring at least one grandparent. On this trip, we brought two grandparents. We brought my husband's parents, and it's more than worth it to me to have the extra helping hands. And when you have a lot of kids, you're already paying for a big place to stay if you do like an Airbnb or VRBO, and that's what we did. We don't do hotels. So it's really not that much to fit one or two extra people in there, and you're probably, if you're renting a car, you're already renting a passenger van, so once again, it's not that big of a deal to fit extra people in there, so you just have to pay for their flights and convince the grandparents to come along with you. And I'll talk about this later, but some airlines even offer like kids fly free, so then you're not even really paying for those extra tickets. Now, if you have little ones, then you can bring a diaper bag on the plane in addition to your personal item, and you're not going to be charged for that. So I do that. However, I do not pack all of the diapers and wipes that I will need for an entire trip because that just takes up space. And then I would probably have to pay for an extra bag. So that little brown backpack that you see the baby playing in now, that was the diaper bag that I packed. And I think I had like 8 baby diapers and a couple pull-ups in there just in case, and 1 pack of wipes. And that was enough just to get us where we needed to be. And then I knew I would be going grocery shopping, and I would just get enough diapers that, to hold me over while we were on vacation and to last on our return trip. So that's just another way to save space. I'm always looking to save space. So this is our vacation rental we did this time. We went through VRBO, and we were so happy with it. We have had great luck anytime that we've used Airbnb or VRBO. I mean, I don't know, do people even stay in hotels anymore? Maybe individuals do, or like couples, but it's just so impractical if you have children, especially if you have a lot of children, to stay in a hotel, because then you're eating out every meal, which I guess if that's your plan, then that's okay, but that gets so expensive. So one of the main reasons that we do vacation rentals is so that I can do one big grocery trip when we get there. And they're stocked with everything. It comes with a stock kitchen so that I can cook all of our meals all week. And to me, that's not stressful. Like, I'm used to doing that. I enjoy doing that. And we save a lot of money. Groceries aren't cheap, but it's cheaper than taking a huge family out to eat 3 times a day. We still go out to eat a couple of times. And in fact, when we're on vacation, that is. And in fact, my next video, I will take you along and show you my grocery haul for this trip and all of the meals that we ate while we were on vacation, whether it was, cooking here or going out to eat. But now I'm just kind of showing you around. This house was awesome. We picked this because it has a ton of stuff for the kids to do. And, we don't want to hear them tell us that they're bored, which they don't. Our kids just, they weren't raised on screens. We do very, very little technology or screens. So they're just used to occupying themselves. And I really can't even remember the last time my kids told me they were bored. But we wanted a lot for them to do here so that we weren't trying to come up with touristy other activities to go do, because that really adds up. Like, the cost of paying to take your kids to do touristy things is outrageous, and that's just not something we wanted to do. So this place had everything like heated pool, pickleball, putt-putt golf, just all the things to keep the children busy and entertained and having a good time. And of course, We were just a few minutes from the beach, so we did a lot of that as well. However, one way to save money is to not get a vacation rental that is right on the beach.
Made it. The kids did real well. The big kids always do good, but the babies did pretty good on the trip. So now we just have to get all of our stuff in, get unpacked, and we don't have any food. So we are going to go grocery shopping. And actually, my next video is going to be a grocery haul for a week for our family of 7, but we have the grandparents with us. So I'm shopping for 9 people to feed us for a week. I'll show you what I get, show you all the meals that I make, but right now we are just gonna get unpacked.
Beachfront vacation rentals are significantly more expensive. So we actually had some friends that were staying in a house. They were vacationing in a house right on the beach, just a few minutes up the road from us. So we went and visited them one day, and it was so nice, being right on the beach, having a pool, and having their house right there. However, I mean, you're talking like $500-600 more a night just to be beachfront when you can get a place like a few minutes from the beach. And yeah, that's a lot of savings. It's like several $1,000s that you save for a week-long vacation. And we rented a vehicle anyway. We rented a passenger van, which renting a passenger van is actually cheaper than renting an SUV or a minivan, I guess, because there's not as high of a demand. So we had a vehicle. It was no big deal. One of my favorite things about traveling anywhere is visiting a new church. I love that. I love just being able to walk into any Catholic church around the world, and you're going to be able to know the prayers and the Mass and understand what's going on and participate the same way you would at home. There might be small differences, but all in all, it is the same. So we spent a few days at the beach, like going to Florida, depending on where you go in Florida, in the winter months, it's kind of hit or miss. It was in the 70s the entire time that we were here, and it was beautiful. The water is a little bit cold though. So we were kind of right outside of Indian Rocks Beach. This is the second time that we've stayed in this area, and John and I agree this is our favorite. So we've stayed all over Florida, like up and down the Atlantic, all over the Gulf Coast. I really love the Emerald Coast. I love like Santa Rosa Beach, but if you go in there in the winter, it's pretty cold there. Sometimes 60s, which is not that different than it is back home in the Midwest. So that kind of defeats the purpose of getting away in the winter and enjoying the warmth and getting some vitamin D. All right, let's talk about booking cheap flights. So I book through Frontier Airlines a lot. This is not a first class airline. It's very basic, but the flights are dirt cheap. Like I've seen them as low as $19 flying into Orlando. And if you're going to fly into Florida, I mean, that's where your cheapest flights are going to be. We don't do the Disney thing. It's just not for us. By the way, I'm just kind of walking you through this, like putting in hypothetical ages for kids and showing you, how cheap you can book flights for. Frontier does do kids fly free as well on certain dates. I think that's usually in like January and February if you want to book kids fly free. But you can see here, I was able to just kind of like plug in some dates in March and find $78 flights. These are direct flights from St. Louis into Orlando, but you can find them cheap from anywhere into Orlando, and even cheaper, like I said, in January and February. They have, if you join their discount den, it's like $50 or something, then you save even more, and it's worth it to do that. It's just like a year-long thing, $50, and look at the subtotal here, $623 for, flying with a large family. Another good one is Allegiant Airlines. We've done this before. We've flown into Destin, but you can fly into Clearwater, lots of different places in Florida. Once again, I'm just putting in like random dates to show you guys. Now these airlines, they don't come with included bags, checked bags or carry-ons. So, you can definitely incur a lot of costs if you bring a lot of luggage or you want to make a lot of upgrades. But we always do the very basic flights, and that's how I keep the cost so low. So look at these prices, $45 direct flights from Belleville, Illinois into Clearwater, Florida. I mean, that's just wild. That's dirt cheap. So these are the two airlines that I usually use, but like Spirit is another one. You know, all of the low class airlines, that's what I like. I mean, I have kids, I'm flying with kids. This is not a high class, relaxing experience anyway. That's not what I'm expecting out of this. I just want to get us from point A to point B for as cheap as possible. All right, that is a wrap for this week's video. I will link everything that I mentioned in the video in the description, so just tap the more button below the video. I'll link the VRBO that we stayed at, info for booking cheap flights, the backpacks that I use, and don't forget to check out the offer that Seed has for Hopewell Heights subscribers as well. All right, well, I will see you all next week.
Yeah.